Hi everybody, Josh Ford here, running for the 2018 U.S. Senate seat in Congress against Elizabeth Warren. Today is September 11th, and we all remember what happened on that day. It was burned into all of our minds, and never more so for the ones that lost loved ones on that day. But as time has passed, year after year, more of us have begun to question what actually happened on September 11th. I know that I'll never forget the day I saw the second plane crash into the towers as my family called me into the kitchen to tell me, our nation was under attack. Each of us shares a similar story of the horror that we witnessed that day. But as time has passed, and as we've seen elections stolen, as we've seen those who commit crimes allowed to go without punishment, as we've seen people like Dick Cheney become rich off the wars that will never end, and more questions arise as videos have come up on YouTube from the United States that happened in New York, firefighters talking about explosions they heard, how the explosions were ongoing. I've seen videos just today of how the plane that hit the building had a CGI wing, and what we witnessed may not be what we saw. It's difficult to imagine for many of us that our government may have had something to do with this. It's not something I enjoyed considering back when it originally happened, but as time passes, I question more and more the legitimacy of what happened on that day. And that is why Jill Stein has called for an investigation into the 9/11 attacks. She's the only one that is. That's because she's the only one that's not owned by corporations, not controlled by the military-industrial complex. Jill Stein is the only one that will get to the bottom of what really happened and see that justice is done for the American people. For one reason or another, there are 28 pages that were not released on the 9/11 Commission. 28 pages that could tell us who was involved, what happened, and why. These pages need to be released, and an independent investigation needs to be done. If you want to know the truth, as I really want to know the truth about what happened on that day, then we need to do several things. We need to stand up to the oligarchy that has rigged our elections. We need to stand up to them like people have been doing, but in greater numbers. We can take back our government. We can vote in an entirely new Congress, leave no one there. Just because they're congressmen doesn't mean they're untouchable. It means they're working a temp job for the American people. And that's the same thing for the President of the United States. He's doing a temporary job, and he's not doing very good at it. He's putting the American people in harm's way with wars, with trade agreements like the TPP. And even though the rest of Congress has taken 9/11 off because they made their statements on Friday because, God forbid, they work the weekend, I myself will be heading to work shortly to make sure that the streets are a little safer by working the jail today. So I wish you all a safe and happy September 11th. And please, look into what's been going on. Question what's happening around you. Because for those that think it was what it was, maybe it was. But we really can't be sure anymore. So let's get an investigation. Let's work together with Jill Stein, put in a new Congress, and change this country for the better. Let's put ourselves back on the right path. Thank you. This is Josh Ford on September 11th, 2016, running for the U.S. Senate and Congress against Elizabeth Warren. Have a great weekend.